Talk to you a little bit about Be the One You Love.
Yeah.
So the first thing I want to talk to you about is the grassy field on a sunny day video.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to know like the inspiration behind that video and if it was done in one take. If you can kind of like tell me a little bit about it, because it just seemed very impressive to just kind of shoot that entire thing.
Yeah. That was done with collaboration with Rich Smith, who I work with a lot, like frequent collaborator. And what was it? I mean, we knew we wanted to do like some sort of album video, like long form that would just be kind of replace like the album stream. And it was done one take. I mean, we just showed up and like performed the whole thing on the field that I like. It's over on Kelly Drive. It's just like this empty soccer field. I don't know. I just thought we'd both have played around with like picture-in-picture, which is where it's like a smaller camera or like a smaller video screen inside of a larger video screen. So we thought it'd be cool to like have one camera moving around and one stable.
Yeah.
I'd play around with like the HD footage and then also just like DV footage. I can't really think of anything that's like major inspirations like that. But I don't know, I had a good time doing it. It was like cold.
It was really cold.
Yeah, like we just shot a video for Orange Slice, which is the first song in the album.
Yeah.
And on Sunday, it was really hot. It was like 100 degrees outside. And then the whole time I was thinking about how the last time we all shot outside was the grassy field video, and it was like probably like 40 degrees outside.
Yeah.
And it was just, or like maybe even in the 30s or something. I was just like, it's so weird the like weather extremes that we've been dealing with.
So you just shot your video for Orange Slice. Is there any other videos that you're doing for the album, or?
No, I've been writing a lot, so I'm just kind of moving on to the next thing.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. That's awesome. So I was wondering, I saw that on the video, Larry is credited as Eternal Boy, and I'm guessing, is that your brother?
That's my dog.
That's your dog.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Because he's also mentioned in the in a verse on your last song on the album.
I'm still alive.
So, gotcha.
Larry's he passed away in November.
Oh, okay.
He lived to be 17.
Oh, wow.
He's a shih tzu.
Dang.
Yeah.
I guess that's an Eternal Boy there. Yeah.
And I wrote a song called Eternal Boy, just like that week that he passed, and then I don't know what to do with it yet, but I was like, maybe I'll put that as a credit.
Gotcha.
And maybe that'll keep appearing or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you write about your dog a lot? Like,
I have in the last couple of years. I had another band called Foozle, and that band, I think Larry came up a couple times. Just thinking that band, I feel like a lot of the writing was a lot more about domestic life and thinking about the suburbs. And I think when I think about domestic life and the suburbs, I think about my dog.
Gotcha.
Like sitting by a window.
I understand that. Me too. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that whole like the theming of your album, because Be the One You Love seems like a really personal album, or at least that's how I took it. But I was wondering what you thought the unifying factor of all the songs on the album was.
Probably like trying to self-actualize, an attempt to self-actualize and like understand myself.
Gotcha.
And trying to figure out how to love myself. And that's one. I mean, like thematically, I think that's what ties a lot of things together. Is like trying to figure out how to love both someone else and myself.
Gotcha.
Those two, and then I guess like production-wise, it was like me trying to make like pop music. Like definitely wanted it to be polished and a lot more thinking about like beats and which I feel like not that I necessarily got completely out of my system, but I've kind of in the recent stuff I've been going back to like just playing a guitar.
Gotcha. I was gonna say it sounds a little bit different than your other stuff
that you saw at the show.
Yeah,
definitely liking the guitar a lot more now. But probably went through 2 or 3 years that I was really into just like drum programming and synthesizers, and I think that Be the One You Love was kind of like the peak of that for the time being. Like I'm not saying it's gonna go away. It's just, it's kind of like a pendulum. Like I'm constantly going back and forth.
So do you think your next album is gonna be more guitar based, or?
It's looking like that now. I'm unsure. I'm not trying. I've been trying recently to work on without thinking about the result of anything. So. I just keep writing and keep kind of letting things flow, and then when things are done, I'll kind of like reassess it.
Gotcha. Here, is your mic? Do you mind?
Is it going through?
Yeah, I think.
I know I talk quiet sometimes.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Let me readjust it.
It's just you're giving me really good answers, so I want to make sure
that good?
I'm able. Yeah, that's perfect. I just want to make sure I'm able to transcribe them well.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, what was this? Oh,
you were talking about not thinking about the result.
Yeah,
really?
Only on the effort, and I think that's something that I've struggled with. Is always like jumping to like, where is this going to be? What's this like? What does this look like in context to an album?
Gotcha.
And now I'm trying to take a step back and be more just like, what is this object of a song?
Yeah. That's super hard to do with art, I would imagine. Yeah, without thinking about that final, product. So I had a specific question about a specific song. I was wondering if "Oh My Goddess" is it a positive song or is it a negative song? Because there's like, I mean, I guess that's like a hard. It's hard to put your songs into a box.
I think if you're asking that question, you get it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Because I was just like, there's those lyrics like not growing any closer and stuff like that. I was like, oh man, that hurts, but I understand. Like that type of thing. So that's basically your answer. It's kind of like.
I think you get it.
Yeah. All right. So I noticed when I was watching your performance at the show, I immediately got, especially. When you were talking, Andy Kaufman vibes.
I love Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, like he's a really big inspiration for me too. I do comedy, so like he's a really big inspiration for me too. So and then I noticed that he was mentioned in your lyrics for "Be the One You Love," and a lot of your other idols seem to be mentioned, like Sting, Marvin Gaye, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Sting the wrestler, just so that's.
Gotcha. Not from the Police.
Not from the Police, but the wrestler Sting.
So are you into like older wrestling?
Yeah, I like wrestling. I grew up watching wrestling.
So like Andy Kaufman a little bit. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. So I was wondering if first you could tell me about how kind of those people have contributed to your art, and then also if that song is about departing, like kind of breaking away from idolizing people and instead not idolizing yourself, but maybe like. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? Like a little bit? I just kind of want to dig deeper into the meaning of that song.
Sure. The first part, I think Andy Kaufman, like, just as a figure, has shaped the way that I like think about art making a lot. He's been like this constant like anchor for me as far as like a person to look back to and be like, this is kind of what I think like I don't know about perfection, but like. I'll just use that for now, but like perfect artist, kind of what their like work looks like, their career looks like, the way they're thinking. Like, I feel like there's a fearlessness where like of both like just ending up like successful and then just still kind of being like, I'll just do my own thing. Yeah. Like. Gotcha. Still experimenting even after the success and having like somewhat of a tragedy. I think the thing about the specific idols mentioned in that song is that they all died young and in these really tragic ways. Like Arthur Russell died, except for Sting. I think he's in a different verse, so it's a little bit different.
That's how you separate it by tragedy and not tragedy.
That's kind of a different narrative path, I think, in that song. But the specific one was like Arthur Russell, Marvin Gaye, and Andy Kaufman.
Arthur Russell was the cellist, right?
The cellist, and he made a bunch of other stuff too. He died of AIDS in '92. Andy Kaufman died in 1984 of cancer, and Marvin Gaye was shot by his father.
His dad,
And just kind of like all of them. I think what I'm trying to get to in that song, and maybe it'll probably explored more later. Like I don't think I hit it perfectly, but just like seeking success, seeking fame. A lot of the people that we idolize. Like there's a 27 Club, all those people that died, like kind of these like live fast, die young, that lifestyle where a lot of my goals in life were like to get successful and almost to have this fame, but also recognizing that the people I idolized have all died in like either at the peak or right after or like just younger, and that maybe there's something about like living to this really old age without but not necessarily seeing the success, the tangible success that you think you
deserve.
I don't know about deserve, but like that you kind of, that I personally was like, that I thought I would get. And like I might not see it, I might see it, doesn't really matter either way. I think that's what there's a line in the chorus about like, I don't want to be 97 regretting things that I thought about at 22, which is just to mean like stuck in this loop almost of like always trying to chase like money or success or anything that's kind of, when you get it, it's fleeting anyways.
Yeah.
So I guess just looking at my idols and being like, what do I like about them? What do I not like about them? Is maybe the kind of like thesis that you can really like take away.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, another specific. Sorry to keep doing these specific song dissections.
I
don't know if
I don't mind it.
Okay.
I'm
good
here.
with anything. All
Yeah.
right.
Down to go where the conversation goes.
I was wondering about Still Alive. I kind of took it as like.
It's funny. I thought no one listened to. Those are the last 2 songs on the album, and I was like, no one listened to those songs.
Oh, really? That's what you thought?
I just thought that. I was like, I mean, that, people just don't always go all the way through the album.
So, did you purposely put it at the end?
Yeah, I thought they were good.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe people will get to them, and then the way I listen to things is all like, if I already like the artist, I just start and I like let the whole thing play. But there's sometimes I just like specific songs, and then I kind of like listen to them before and after, and then kind of like until I'm listening to the whole album. But,
Gotcha.
So I don't know. That's the way I would do it.
So I was wondering about that song.
Yeah.
It kind of, the way it spoke to me is that, I don't know, because like the way, I feel like the way that I may have interpreted things is like maybe not what you meant at all, but I guess that's what the nature of art is.
Yeah.
But the way that I interpreted it is like kind of going at this art thing for like this music thing, and like just kind of like, what if I just went back and gave up on it, like it's been such a shitty time or something, or like it's been a really hard time. But what could you tell me, like what exactly the song meant to you? Or
it's just about struggling with the same things over and over again, and figuring out how to live with those struggles.
So is it specifically with music or with your life?
My life, I have OCD.
Oh, okay.
And I just accepted it like in the last couple of weeks.
Gotcha.
I don't mind saying it in an interview.
Okay.
I'm pretty comfortable with it, but a lot of the things that I was trying to figure out on this album, I've now been kind of looking at with a new kind of lens of just like understanding this disorder that I have and how it's shaped my thinking.
Yeah.
I think specifically when it comes to that song, I had like it's a lot of without specifically saying I have this thing, this is the way my brain works, or I have this disorder, and explaining what OCD is. It was me kind of like talking around it. But a lot of the same things, like a lot of like reevaluating my narrative constantly, and like just like at I think there's lines about like being 15 and not, or I think about like different junctures, like being 15 or 21, or now I'm 24, and just always being like things aren't right, like when are things going to be right, or like this constant search for like whatever.
Like waiting for it to be right.
Yeah, and I think that's like the wrong attitude, and things aren't ever really right, and things aren't ever really, they don't really fall in place like that. So it's more about like kind of
like framing.
Yeah, like if there's like rigidity that I had set up in my own head that I'm learning how to let go of and be a little bit more flexible. So
when you were writing the song, were you aware that you had OCD, or?
I've been off and on about it since like high school, but I hadn't like. Now I'm being more proactive about understanding it and trying to like understand how to live with it, which has been working really good.
That's great. Yeah.
And like kind of more addressing it like head on. I kind of was like. Didn't think I would need like therapy or something. Like in high school and even college, and even like I just started therapy recently.
Yeah.
And that was when I was like, okay, I'm gonna deal with this. But before that, I kind of was like, I can figure this out myself. I'll figure it out like through writing songs.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of loops that you create for yourself. In this specific disorder, you kind of like, it's a lot of, I don't know, mental like headaches or acrobatics that you put yourself through. So I think that song is like addressing that just without addressing it.
Gotcha.